they hate America. Or if you confront them, they'll say, oh, we love America. What they love is their fantasy of the world they're going to create when they get, you know, all their Obamacare and when they outlaw obesity and control every aspect of your life. That's the America they love. So I had this in my head. I knew where all these people were. I knew their organizations. I knew that conservatives would treat, you know, they say, well, I'm for peace or I'm for civil liberties. And conservatives, being civilized people, always gave them the benefit of the doubt. And it just drove me crazy. In my day, the slogan of the Communist Party, this is Stalin's day, the American Communist Party was peace, jobs, and democracy. Okay? So I could see their deceptions. And it just was nerve-wracking to watch conservatives and Republicans treat them nicely. But I realized I couldn't write a book and explain who these people were and who these networks were and how they worked together and how they had covered agendas and all these civil liberties, the American Civil Liberties Union, all these organizations were actually communist, small c, communist organizations. They hated capitalism, they hated corporations, they thought America was guilty before the fact. I mean, you have to look at the evidence. America is guilty. And then I realized there's the internet. I could put this all up on. Nobody could read the book because there'd be too many names. It would be boring. So I created an encyclopedia of the left called Discover the Networks. It's discoverthenetworks.org, .com, .net. And if you go up there, there's thousands of left-wing organizations, all the so-called civil liberties organizations, all the anti-patriot act organizations are the same things, all the anti-American military organizations, all their funding. In fact, I mean, I was amazed because I had some researchers do the left-wing funders, and nobody's actually picked this up so far, but Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. I said, are you sure? And then they showed me all the left-wing organizations that they funded. People used to ask me when I came out of the left, you know, who funded you? Moscow? Havana? I said, no, you did. The left are masters at being funded by the federal government. Acorn got $53 million from Congress starting in 1994, the year that Newt Gingrich and the Republicans took the House, which has the purse strings. So Republicans funded Acorn because Acorn comes along. We're community organizers. So we're the American people elected one to be president. And all we want to do, we just want to register people to vote, or whatever they say. We want to help poor people. Don't believe it when they're telling you that. Look at what's really happening. Anyway, I put up this encyclopedia of the left, and was very frustrated for many years. Although a lot of people have gone up there. There have been 23 million people have gone up and used that since I did it in 2005. Among them, all the producers at Glenn Beck, all the Hannity producers. Now, I've been on Glenn Beck many times. Producers say, we go up there every single day. So just a piece of advice, go up there and find out who you're confronting.
And that, guys, is absolutely we wrote it here on the chalkboard, Discover the Networks, just amazing. Is there anybody, though, David, that is...
It's a very quick education in the left. I mean, I know it can seem bewildering, but you go up there, you'll see it very, very quickly. We have a whole section called Issues, which I constructed as just a search engine. You just plug in, what you're looking for, and you can find it. And you go up to Issues, and there's progressivism, socialism, liberalism, all of that is dissected, and there are articles on it.
All the isms.
It should be very helpful, as a short course.
And when you look at all of, when I go to to the website and you look at all the different, you know, he has it organized by activist groups. We got you the tricky bottles.
Where's somebody who can do this for me? I have arthritic fingers. All right.
All right, but you have activist groups and you have political groups and social groups and any number of groupings of all of these organizations.
Yep.
Is there a nerve center, a mastermind behind this? I mean, you want to believe it's one person. You know, you want to believe it's George Soros, but what does that really look like?
In the days of the Communist Party, in the heyday of the Communist Party really was the center. And they had a lot of front groups, peace groups and civil rights groups. My mother was they were the Democratic Party. She was a Democrat. She had a tenants council. And she did, you know, civil liberties work. But the Communist Party was the organization. And they would infiltrate trade unions and coordinate their activities. Now, I think it's much more dangerous now because in those days, you could, you know, if you knew who was a member of the Communist Party, you had the brains behind whatever was going on. Now, the left is much, much larger. The left has been growing steadily since I was young. It's more powerful today than it has ever been. And of course, you have the secular. You do have a religious left. You have the secular socialists, and they are in what I have called an unholy alliance with the jihadists on every campus. I mean, I've been on 400 campuses. The jihadists and the left work hand in glove on everything. And the so-called peace movements, you look on the central committees, I think they still call them that, of the movements that organized the Iraq demonstrations, you will find the Muslim Students Association alongside the Workers' World Party and the Socialists, this and that. What organizes the left is an idea. It's this fantasy that there's going to be a world without poverty, with no racism, no sexism, no homophobia, no Islamophobia. There'll be no wars. That's what they believe. And to get there, well, look, imagine for a moment, think like a leftist. Instead of looking at the real world and saying, you know, there's limits. People are people. And, you know, actually one of my speeches when I'm on campus, one of the ways I taunt the left is I say, I want all you progressives out there to watch 2 weeks of Jerry Springer and tell me how you're going to make socialism with those people. But they have this fantasy. Several things flow if you actually believe, and let's not forget, the President of the United States has said a goal of his policy is to have a world without nuclear weapons. Where we've got this little dictator in Tehran who tells us that he met with the 12th Imam. The 12th Imam was 9 years old when he died of the 11th century. But Ahmadinejad has met with him and was told by him that the redemption is at hand. All that's necessary is to sow chaos in the world. And this is a guy who said he wants to wipe America and Israel off the face of the earth. Now you tell me how you're going to sit down and persuade him not to have nuclear weapons, particularly if you don't have them yourself. But they think that. So imagine that you actually believe that there could be a world with no poverty, no prejudice, no conflict of a serious kind. What crime would you not commit, and what lie would you not tell to achieve paradise on earth?